Back with another Meathead School presentation. Got another slideshow for you guys. This time it's on how to go from skinny to aesthetic in under a year. Now, I've noticed recently, there's been a big thing in fitness. There's a reason I have lean is law in all caps. Because you don't have to be like a Jeff Side fucking IFBB pro at 19 to look aesthetic now. Or you don't have to look like David Lade, who, you know, was obviously on a little bit of SARMs. He definitely ripped some bar for the Huzz, you know what I mean, when he was in his prime. But you don't have to blast a bunch of gear or be lifting for a really long time duration to actually become aesthetic. Being aesthetic is simply being shredded, and I'm gonna show you exactly how to go from skinny to aesthetic in under a year. Let's go. So the first thing is, what is even the difference between skinny and shredded? Now, I have actually been both. Right now, I mean, I would say I'm pretty fucking shredded right now, boys. Look at this shit. I'm gonna hit one for Ziz, but I would say I'm pretty shredded right now, right? Oh, the difference between me in the first photo and me in the second photo is just clear. Skinny means you don't have any muscle mass. You could still have a low body fat, but you don't really have any visible muscularity. You can be low body fat and be skinny. You can be low body fat and be shredded. How it differs is the muscularity. If you have any hint of visible muscularity, even if you weigh 135 pounds, you're not skinny, you're shredded. I'm sorry, I'm making up the rules, I don't give a fuck. Someone could be 125 pounds, but if they're diced the fuck up and you see tricep striations and shit, they are shredded. I actually saw this kid, I think his name was like Ayo Felix, right? His physique got like 2 million views because he was fucking shredded. I don't care if people will be like, oh, he's skinny. No, bro, he has visible muscularity, he's shredded. There's a big difference, because skinny, like, trust me, I barely had any visible muscle in this first photo. This was me after 3 months of lifting. But to be exact with the definition, what differs the two? Veins and clear muscularity displayed, we're saying that's shredded, right? Could still be a low body weight, but muscle definition is clearly shown, right? And there is visible muscularity there. Now, skinny is no muscularity or deep oblique cuts or ab cuts, right? You're just skinny. And this is just a great visual representation of the difference. But let's continue. If you guys want an exact definition, go fuck off. You'll know if you're skinny, bro. Honestly, just send me a picture of yourself in the DMs and I'll tell you if you're skinny or shredded. Let's go. Now that we've defined it, here's where most people fail. They start skinny and they never recover from the bulk because they think, oh, bro, if I cut, I'm gonna be too small, bro. These people won't think I lift. Like, I think A is the most common. The skinny dude takes like a crazy long bulk and then he never fucking cuts because he thinks, oh, well, I can't go back to being small. No, bro. Matter of fact, if you're more shredded, you actually look bigger in person just because you could see all the muscle. That's like the definition of why I believe lean is law, because the leaner you are, the bigger you'll actually look with your shirt off in videos and even with a shirt on, because you could see the definition. The only way you'd look bigger than being leaner is if you're literally like a house, bro, you know, but if you're starting skinny, you're not going to turn into a fucking house, bro. B, they start skinny fat, an aggressive cut without lifting, which leaves them even more skinny fat and skinny, right? They're just like a skinnier, fatter version of themselves because they don't really get like the shredded abs and they have no visible muscularity and they just got a little bit smaller. So they just turn into more of a pipsqueak and they're just scared to bulk. Let's say they actually do get that leanness they're looking for, then they're very, very small. And by definition, they don't have enough muscularity, they're skinny. The B is a very, very common one, especially since a lot of people start skinny fat. But another common one is C, which is the most common one. I would say 99% of the time, people don't even try to improve this because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They see people like make the David Lade transformation, or this kid recently, I think his name was like Jamin. He made a crazy 1-year transformation I seen. He made an impressive transformation, and a lot of people will see those transformations and they don't even know where to start because it looks like the guy went from being small and skinny to bigger and more shredded, which doesn't make sense, right? Because you bulk, you pack on fat, which is what a lot of people think. But let me explain how these people do it. This is the truth, the grand gesture. If you want to go from skinny to aesthetic in under a year, you're gonna have to commit to the bulk. That's the truth. And not like what you think. When I say commit to the bulk, I don't mean shoving a fuck ton of calories and looking like an idiot. No, you're gonna have to commit to the lean bulk. And since it's your first year of lifting, right, you're gonna want to commit to the 0.5 pounds a week and be patient. You have to commit to building on the size, because if you don't ever bulk like these fucking, I hate this shit, bro. I feel like the fitness coaches, that's another side rant. I feel like these online fitness coaches, which I'm one of them, but I've been lifting for fucking almost 7 years. These online fitness coaches who've been lifting for 2 years don't know what the fuck they're talking about, trying to tell you, oh yeah, bro, you actually never should bulk if you want to put on size. What are you talking about? Have you heard of a lean bulk, dumbass? It's actually proven to put on a lot of size for people. So the truth is, you're gonna have to bulk, but that bulk better be a fucking lean bulk. So let me go over the strategy, because you're not just bulking, obviously, if you want to get shredded and aesthetic in 1 year. So the perfect strategy is for the skinny guy, which is the starting point of this video that I'm really focused on, is you want to lean bulk into a slow cut. Now, that lean bulk is gonna be long term. You know what that means? You're barely gonna put on fat, because the longer your bulk is, especially at the beginning of lifting, you're not gonna put on very much fat if you go very, very slowly. And then the same logic can be applied with cutting, right? You're not gonna lose much muscle if you cut very slow. But let me go to the second part. Skinny fat, the perfect strategy is, that's if you're above 18% body fat but still small as fuck. You're gonna start with an 8-week cut while lifting, right? Kind of a recomp cut where you eat a slight deficit just to lose some of that baby fat, and then you main gain till your strength plateaus, and then start the lean bulk, then the slow cut. That would be the skinny fat. That's how it differs, which it slightly does, but not that much different. Let's continue. The first 6 to 9 months is very, very simple, but it's easy to fuck up if you don't know the basics. Let me teach you the basics of how to lean bulk without looking like a fat fuck. It's very simple. It's not like these guys telling you, do this perfect animal-based diet, don't track your macros, do this strategy, eat only carnivore. It's none of that bullshit, bro. This is exactly how you stay lean during the bulk. For your diet, it's just simple, bro. You're gonna wanna always be in a slight surplus. Now, obviously, you're gonna be eating clean whole foods, but at the end of the day, you're gonna wanna hit your protein goal and hit your calorie surplus, which is slight, not eating over that by a ton. Gaining just 0.5 pounds a week, to even if you want to go slower than that, if it's a 9-month lean bulk, you can even go 0.3 pounds a week. But the point is that you're progressing week after week. That 2 pounds a month will slowly add up, and especially if it's the beginning of lifting, you will gain a fucking ton of muscle. And as I said, since you have newbie gains, it'll mainly be straight up muscle. And I'm just gonna say it like this. Of course, at the end of the day, calories in, calories out. If you hit your calories and hit your protein goal, you will grow. But that's not me telling you, if you just jackass around and don't eat a little bit clean, that is gonna bite you. It doesn't have to be the perfect diet. It has to be the perfect consistency. That's why I always say you can't always try to be super fucking optimal, because most people have a huge ego and think I can follow this insane meal plan that definitely isn't unsustainable, and then they try the meal plan that is obviously unsustainable as fuck and they can never follow, and they never end up becoming consistent. You know damn well that you're not staying consistent with the fucking Paul Saladino animal-based diet, bro. And I don't even think that's the perfect diet for muscle building. Nobody's eating fucking steak, eggs, fruit every single meal for the rest of their lives and making progress. That shit just doesn't happen, bro. Aside from that side rant on those stupid ass fucking perfect diet people, let me explain this. Something that you can use that isn't a cope that actually will get you size is a bulking shake. Now, I actually have a link for a recipe down in the description. You guys can go check it out. But I'm gonna tell you right now, these 1,000 calorie shakes are so easy to take down. Because let's just say this, eating 1.4K calories or even 1.2K calories, right? That shit's brutal, bro. 1,200 calories of chicken and rice, or whatever you want to say, right, is always gonna be brutal to actually eat. But drinking 1.2K calories is easy and it's efficient, because you could bring it to school or work and you could take it down over the course of an hour, or you could just chug that shit, right? Because drinking calories is the biggest cheat code. If you're a hard gainer, which if you're starting skinny you might be, your metabolism might be very fast. So an 1,000 calorie shake is like the holy grail. For some of you guys, depending on what weight you start at, that's gonna be like half your calories for the day, or even a third. And if you actually use the recipe in the description, or whatever bulking shake you want to create, as long as you put a good amount of protein in with mainly whole food nutrients, right? Banana, blueberries, peanut butter is a good one. That is literally the most OP thing. But let me continue. Enough with the rant on the diet. I was not expecting this to be that long. And as for training, you're gonna want to do strength plus hypertrophy. As for the strength, why I say strength training is because it's very easy to get demotivated on the pull. I think this is what happens to everyone when they try to lean bulk. They start lifting in the gym and every lift feels like the same and they can't see visible progress every session, so they just quit, right? Or even every week they can't really see the visible progress they want to see. But with strength training, you do see the visible progress you want to see. If you progressive overload, which means go up every week in weight or every 2 weeks in weight, you have something to look forward to. A PRs to hit, getting stronger every week. And then if you're getting stronger every week, the theory I have behind strength training helping you with bodybuilding is because if you're able to rep more weight for more reps than you were before, you're giving your muscles more of a reason to grow. Because let's say your muscle is just gonna continue to fail at 135, but you're never gonna progress past 135, right? You never go up in weight. Why the fuck does your muscles have a reason to grow, right? Even if you're training at failure, if you're progressively overloading now, you're going up 5 pounds a week, you start repping at 145, then 155, then 165. It gives your muscles that reason to grow. It also keeps you motivated while on the bulk. That's my simple explanation for why you should definitely focus on strength a little bit. Now, I'm not saying the deadlift, squat. I'm saying mainly bench and whatever leg exercise you want, right? To progressively overload and actually train for strength. Now, the sets and reps for the hypertrophy training, if you're just starting out the gym, honestly, 5 to 8 sets per workout of any muscle group is perfect. In the rep ranges, 6 to 8, and honestly, 10 to 15, depending if it's like a accessory lift, like lateral raises or some shit like that, or even curls. Mix it in, right? It doesn't have to be one rep range. Obviously, for the strength sets, you're gonna have your 1x2s, 1x3s, 2 sets of back downs, right? Very specific, like more structured lifting, or even like 3 sets of 5 and going up 5 pounds a week on those 3 sets of 5. For your hypertrophy lifts, you could switch up the rep ranges. I mean, there's actually studies that have been shown that you can literally gain muscle during any rep range to failure. So I always say, get them all, bro. Literally get the best of both worlds. Do some 6 to 8 and do some, 10 to 15 reps, even 15 to 20 if you're getting a great pump doing that, right? You want to make your lifting enjoyable for you because so you can stick with it. But in summary, that's the first 6 to 9 months of lifting. That's our plan for 6 to 9 months. The last 12 to 20 weeks, you're gonna do a 6 to 12 week slow cut into a main gain till the next bulk. Now, why this is? For me at least, if you did the lean bulk correctly, you should honestly need a 8-week cut. That should be perfectly fine. But if you did get a little bit blown out and felt like you wanted to, either get a little bit more shredded or you felt a little bit too far gone and needed that extra time, 12 weeks is fine. Because as I said, after you lean bulk for 9 months, you haven't cut in so long, your body's just gonna shred off the fat, bro. The second you're not in a surplus, especially being a naturally skinny guy like most of you guys are, I'm telling you, this will literally have you shredded. This cut, for the first time in your life, you will feel aesthetic. And once you get to the point where you want to be at, like physique wise, let's say you get to 10% body fat, you got veins running around, right? Kind of like where I'm at right now. You look pretty fucking sick. You can main gain until your next bulk, especially if you start this right now, right? Let's say you start in August and you do a crazy 9-month lean bulk, right? You're gonna have gained a ton of size and barely that much fat. You do your 6 to 12 week slow cut all summer, right? And again, I say 6 weeks just in case you want to do a little bit more of an aggressive cut, but overall you should do kind of a slow cut, like 1 pound per week. You're gonna look fucking shredded, you know what I mean? You're gonna look aesthetic as fuck. You will look like unrecognizable from when people last saw you. And for the first time in your life, you will 100% be aesthetic. By the time you get to the physique you want, if it's in summer, right, and somehow you got to where you want to be in 4 weeks, you can main gain until the summer's done, until you want to bulk again in the winter. Because if you main gain, if you lost any sort of muscle during the cut, it'll get returned in the main gain, and you'll still be able to make some slow gains while still being shredded and aesthetic. So that's the last 12 to 20 weeks, and that will guarantee you, if you follow this correctly, you will be aesthetic as fuck, bro. I'm telling you. And this protocol is for 6 months lean bulk, 9 months lean bulk, even 4 months. You still want to do that same exact protocol for the last weeks. So now for the most important part, it's always going to be the consistency over perfection. I mentioned it with the diet. No matter how hard you want to act like you are, no matter how much you want to be the David Goggins guy, I could follow any diet, I could train every day. If you could, you'd be jacked already, bro. At the end of the day, it does not have to be perfect. You don't have to have the perfect Paul Saladino animal-based diet. You don't have to be on the carnivore diet. You don't have to be on the only chicken, broccoli, and rice diet. you have to have the basics down. Hit your calorie goal, hit your protein goal, show up to the gym on your split, whatever it is, push pull legs, Arnold split, 3-day a week, full body, upper, lower, I don't care. Show up every day of your split, no matter how you feel. As I said, does not have to be optimal. Get your white gummy bear rain, fucking shotgun that shit, and go hit some chest, bro. I don't care how fucking tired you are, take caffeine, bro. Get in the gym, make it fun for yourself. Those days you don't want to do it and you caffeine max, get your fucking aesthetic Lady Gaga playing in your ear, or you get some hood shit playing in your ear, and you're feeling like a G, moving some fucking weight. That's what makes transformations happen. Because once fitness becomes fun for you and becomes the highlight of your day, you honestly will never have to watch this guide again, because you'll get to where you want to be. And that is the most honest advice from someone who has been lifting for 7 fucking years and went from this to this. This wasn't easy, but you can do it in a lot shorter time frame than me. There's a reason I coach people now on how to do it in a shorter time frame than me. But anyways, guys, if you want me to do this whole process for you, links in the description. You can book a call with me. Go follow my Instagrams, guys. Gonna be dropping a bunch of bangers. Might even drop a vlog soon. But overall, guys, that is exactly how to go from skinny to aesthetic in under a year. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Make sure to sub. We're trying to get 10K subs on the year, guys. Let's fucking make it happen. See you guys in the next one. Peace.